Moi, je pense ça doit être quand on a ressorti Invasion, quand les gens sont revenus de plus en plus sur le jeu et qu'il y a une espèce de hype qui s'est tournée autour des réseaux sociaux, tout ça, c'était quand même sympa à voir que le jeu avait repris une espèce de deuxième vie. Donc je pense que c'est un des meilleurs moments de l'année dernière.
I'd have to say introducing a new Prime asset that worked a little differently from the previous ones is probably one of my more favorite recent things that we introduced into the game.
Mon plus beau souvenir de la dernière année, je dirais, c'est l'arrivée de plein de nouveaux joueurs pour Noël. C'est un super beau cadeau de Noël qu'on a reçu de la part de la communauté.
The most fun thing to watch as a sound designer was the performance we had from Dawn and Victoria as they were recording Otto and Aurora. It's such a sick character, and the chemistry between both actors it's so much fun. We weren't there we weren't there in the booth with them. We were watching it on Zoom, but it was amazing to see them interact together, especially because they didn't even know each other before the session.
Some of my favorite memories working at Red Barrels would be the first sound I made that ended up in the game, getting to join and work on a main trial that was released in the V1 launch. It was a crank and toy factory.
Oh, that was an important one too.
When I'm thinking of how to kind of group together my favorite memories, sure, there's working directly with Phil and JT and working so closely with the narrative of the game. That's something I've wanted to do basically my whole career. I have an actual impact on where the story is going, on how the characters develop. But, at Red Barrels, so many people have an impact, whereas everyone can kind of come with their ideas and pitch them. And it really does make the game feel way more organic. And working in a live setting like Outlast Trials, it's always kind of mutating and adapting to where we are, what the fans like, and it's kind of like this living product that everyone here is involved in, and I think that's really cool.
Some people will remember we had a closed beta back in 2022. So for a whole weekend, we let you guys play the game and get your feedback and everything so we can improve it. And then the game went offline for a while. And you know that we had an early access in 2023 in the month of May, and making the game go back online, I would say, people coming back to it, new people coming back. Oh, I know police stations, Kiss the Snitch Trial, it's not new for me and stuff like this. This was insane to see and get the repercussion from everyone playing the game again.
And just see the growth from when we started a closed beta and all that throughout the years, the year one when we launched, after when we came out on platform and everything, the growth has been pretty incredible. Yeah.
The hype around the Amelia escape and invasion, seeing people online being really enthusiastic about it, and us in the studio reading comments and working on these new chapters was really, really exciting.
Je dirais en fait, je suis vraiment fier de la selle costaud, à quel point ça a explosé comme concept. Ça a été vraiment long avant qu'on puisse l'instaurer comme on voulait. Puis Day One, on voulait vraiment que ce soit quelque chose de comme complexe, de beau, que les joueurs allaient vouloir, qu'ils allaient apprécier.
I'd say the Amelia Escape was a great reminder of the Outlast game. I love how we split players up, how we have these little slice of single player in our multiplayer game. We could do this because we decided to cut any join in progress and everything because it was more cinematic, more scripted. So that's something we wanted to do, but we can't keep in the game, unfortunately. So it was a great one-time thing, and I love seeing people online missing it. People are like, oh, I don't want to try it again, or people that have just heard about it, they're like, I want to escape too. So maybe they will one day.
From the past year, I was very excited to see people play the resort map because Lilia is such a special prime asset to play against. And I would say watching the streamers play the map and discovering that Lydia could get into a pose and hide and disguise. Seeing their surprise was very fun.
Lydia was a fun challenge. We had no idea what we would do with her because she was such a complex character to develop from a gameplay standpoint all the way to visuals.
And Coil,
It was one of the first boss and NPC that I did about 7 years ago, along with the big one that I know some of you, I think, called Danny. These were like a absolutely incredible moment because at that point we did not have any like art direction for the characters, so me and Hugo were working like very very hard to understand what was Outlast Trial, what was the character that we were creating, and I was making 3D stuff. I was passing that along to Hugo. He would do paint over on top of my sketches inside ZBrush, and then together as a team we we arrive at with this beautiful result.
Has anyone mentioned like kind of looks like you?
Oui, ben, définitivement, le launch, autant Early Access que 1.0, ça a été vraiment cool, là, définitivement un highlight. Là. Passer la journée à regarder les premières réactions, c'était une très belle expérience. Là.
Yeah, and I think when we got to release Invasion for the first time and really put weapons inside the hands of players and see all of these, different murderous reactions from players was really, really exciting.
Ouais, aller voir couler le couteau pour la première fois, là, ça c'était quand même assez cool. Là. On leur faisait faire des trucs tellement brutals là, que. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ce que j'ai le plus hâte, c'est la sortie du prochain main trial sur lequel on travaille en ce moment. On essaie de vraiment mettre l'emphase sur plus présenter le prime asset, puis aussi suivre la victime tout au courant du main trial. Donc j'ai vraiment hâte de voir le feedback des joueurs là-dessus.
Some requests from the fans that we obviously want to address, and I think they're gonna be really happy.
Le quoi je suis plus excité pour ce qui va arriver, je pense, c'est le mid-rush sur lequel j'ai travaillé qui va sortir pour 6.0. C'est quand même un gameplay que j'aime bien, qui va rappeler des anciens gameplays qu'il y avait eu dans d'autres mini-trials comme Kidnap the Mistress. Puis d'autres maps qui vont sortir que les gens n'ont pas vu aussi depuis un moment.
I'm always excited for new main trials, giving a new environment, a new sonic palette to explore, new sound effects, and of course new music composed by Tom. Always gets me excited.
I'm mostly excited about getting some of our cats back in the booth, especially the prime assets for the new environments. We've gotten such great performances from them in the past, and I'm just looking forward to the next ones we'll get from her.
In the coming year, we also have some exciting new VOs from Easterman, some surprises for you inside the trials. It's maybe getting a little bit more unhinged.
Other things that I'm excited about, we're working on some new XPOP, on top of new prime assets. We know what at least our next map is going to be, and it's going to be super cool. I'm really stoked to see how that comes together. It's got a final kill that's, I think, is going to be really visceral and brutal. And the map itself is going to make a lot of fans super happy because it's going to have something that they've been asking for a really long time.
I want to see the game grow even more. We have been adding so much new people to Red Barrels, incredible people, and I want to see their work put into the game. We added so much since the beginning of Outlast Trials to the game, and some of the new stuff has been made by people that were not there at the beginning. They are like giving us new vision about Outlast Trials and what we can do and when we can implement in the game. And I love that. I want to see even more of this. And yeah, it's something I really look forward to.
I don't know how much we can say about it, but there's new items players will maybe able to use, and that's all I'm gonna say.
C'est ça, je sais pas à quel point je peux en parler, mais il y a quelque chose qui s'en vient. Ça fait longtemps, props, qu'on pousse pour l'avoir. On a vraiment hâte de se lancer dessus. Puis là, finalement, on commence à pouvoir embarquer là-dessus. Fait j'ai vraiment hâte de le faire et j'ai hâte que les joueurs le reçoivent. Puis j'ai hâte de voir à quel point ils vont être hypés pour ça.
There is a super cool new NPC type that will come up this year eventually. There is a trial in the making that a lot of you have been dying, screaming. Be patient, we're working on it, and give us some time, grace, and love.
Yeah, regarding that, we listen to your feedback. We really do, and we're really trying on the character team to take that feedback and put that on the outfit, the NPC and stuff. What I am the most excited for next year is, like Hugo said, we're working on different NPC character, and especially one. Throughout the years, we went through different concepts, different ideas, and some of them we just put them aside. We made them into 3D, but it never really got to go into the game. And right now we're looking at old concept and things that we did before, and that we might think that this time we can put that into the game.
Revamp.
Yeah, you saw the character that we do. They're very, very gory, and this one is no exception for that. I think it's gonna very look cool.
My specialty has always been characters, but here I had the opportunity to do some environment as well. And honestly, one of the things I'm most excited to is to show the next victim for the next season, and it's gonna be pretty brutal.
For some of you that don't know, he also did Lilia's Victims.
Gore and stuff.
For
He teaches me to add gore.
yes.
More.
One thing that I really look forward to in the next year is to see your game become a bit more challenging, maybe improving the competitiveness in our game.
I've been working on upgrading some of the rigs that are maybe lacking. So 2 of the rigs are gonna get improvement, and I can't wait for players to get their hands on it and see how they respond to having not new rigs but old rig that works a bit differently. So I can't wait to see that.
I think what I'm most looking forward to is getting my hands on other crazy designs from the character teams, some narrative lore that I can really sink my teeth into and continue creating some really epic villains.
But yours is a good one. Like every time they just step up their game with the characters. I think this, like for the past 3 years, just seeing the reactions of the new content like we drop.
Yeah, and we go to mocap together. You often get to help out on the mocap stage, so
And I do love it. Like the mocap is awesome.
we have some surprises in store in the mocap shoot, some interesting specialists down the pipeline that will really change up the game. So we're really excited about that one.
Ce que je suis plus fier, je pense, c'est avoir fait revenir Illusion dans le jeu, qui était une ancienne zone de fun park qui avait été cut. Du coup, j'ai eu beaucoup de retravail de refaire tout le layout, nous créer un nouveau gameplay autour, faire une mission, tout ça. Et avoir un espèce de nouveau environnement que les joueurs n'avaient pas vu encore, avec beaucoup d'illusions, de sortes de casse-tête visuels. Là. Donc assez fier d'avoir remis cette map dans le jeu.
For me, like the resort was a really long process to put on paper at first, and there were like a lot of challenges there, but it all kind of came together, and then from paper to editor, it was the fastest I've ever produced something, I think. So for me, that was really cool.
La chose dont je suis le plus fier, c'est d'avoir travaillé sur la map Shopping Mall. Personnellement, c'était vraiment un défi d'un point de vue de level design, comment structurer un environnement qui est autant ouvert, mais de garder en même temps notre flow qu'on a présentement dans les trials.
When I joined December 2023, we were preparing for the V1 launch, wrapping up a new main trial, which is now known as Toy Factory. One of the first tasks and sounds I was assigned was the brick impacts throughout the trials. When I joined, it was the same sound wherever it hit.
Yeah, Max not telling the full story because this is one of I did the first version of that sound for closed beta and early access. And Francis, although very nice and polite, told me it was probably one of the worst sounds I ever did. So it played on every surface and every time you threw a brick. So thankfully Mac went and did a big pass on that sound.
It's one of the best parts of working at Red Barrels is working cross department and going over and poking a programmer or a level designer or an artist and saying, hey, I'm coming up with a new system. How can you help me? What are your thoughts? And just getting to have your hand in so many different pots and learn from so many different people across the team is always a lot of fun. And that was my first experience in taking on a project or a pipeline of that nature where we kind of came together as a team, said, we're going to improve this brick system, and we came up with a system to flag the different surfaces in the trials to make the experience a bit more immersive as we throw bricks to distract.
Yeah, it's a staple now.
Yeah.
When I came in, I kind of pitched a lot of ideas, whether it was for enemy types, maps, whatever. And it's really cool to see some of those ideas finally come to life, you know, like whether it's with a new Prime asset, there are certain elements of him that, you know, reflect directly to ideas that we've been building on now for 2+ years. And so it's cool. It's going to be so great to kind of see those come together.
Well, me, I'm gonna retread some grounds, but Invasion is really the development period, like the 6-8 months, I don't know, that we worked on Invasion was the one I worked. I was like fully into Invasion, like maybe 80% of my day was working on Invasion, in meetings with the devs, the designers, like giving feedback, trying to balance it, PlayStation internal. And me, I'm trying to invade people is the only thing I'm doing pretty much.
So as a lot of people know, QA sometimes doesn't really shine in a production. It's hard for us to make stuff that end up in the game. And some of the stuff I'm the most proud of are behind the scene. We have so much tools, way of working based on your feedback, what you give us, the bugs you find for us, the thing you found that we would never see if we were just our team. And this is what matters the most to me. It's what we can do to make the game better, even if you don't see it. And that's the whole point. If you don't see it, it's because we did it well. And I love that. But you know, sometimes we add stuff in the game that are very subtle but help us a lot. And maybe the thing that I like the most and maybe be very proud about it is when the game went live, we were in our lounge back in the day watching streams of you guys playing the game. And at some point someone had a bug happening. I don't remember what it was, the generator stuff.
Yes.
No? Yeah, the generator. So that was a 1 in a million bug, the first ever stream we watched of the games, it happened. And we were like, oh, what can we do about it? We don't even know what specific map people were playing and everything. So now we put stuff in the game. When you stream it, when you do video, we can know what you played, and you can't even know about that, but we see it on your stream, and it helps us so much with debugging after. Without even knowing, you are helping us so much, making this game more healthy and bug free, and this is what matters the most at the end of the day.
La job, le produit qu'on fait est comme débile, insane. Je peux pas demander plus, mais je suis vraiment fier de l'équipe qu'on a, particulièrement en équipe props. On est allé chercher des, Félix, Sian, tout ça. On est allé chercher du New Blood, puis on est vraiment rendu avec une super belle équipe. Je suis vraiment très fier de ça. Puis je veux pas parler pour les autres, là, mais je pense que ça s'étend en général dans le reste du studio. On est vraiment une super belle team. Je me sens vraiment chanceux, en fait, d'être ici pour eux.
The first outfit I did, I think, still one of my favorite was, like I always try to bring some ideas of what the reagents could be thinking. So like the first one was Anatomy Obsession, so it's based on like 19th century Corché. I made a Living Corpse Syndrome type of outfit, and something that Will has been asking for years, but we still can't do it.
Lydia has been insanely detailed and difficult to work on. So that's probably what I'm most proud of in terms of what I had the chance to work on. Because I put insane amount of hours in those illustrations to make sure that it translates well what we want to show for Lydia. So I think, yeah, Lydia artworks has been pretty phenomenal to work on.
One thing that I'm very, very proud of is that I think that as a team, we are also gamers. And so, you know, we know for us at least what's cool, what's not, what player tends to like. So we really, really work hard to make this character look amazing, put as much detail as we can, and really try to go out of the boundaries we give ourselves and the other member of the team a lot of feedback, and we're really trying to push that art. And what I'm very proud is when I see the fans' reaction, actually, when I see the people drawing these characters back, Rosie's sending us the fan art, the everything that you guys do, and this is for me a very big moment. I check all of them, and I think they're actually very, very cool. And to see something that you do with the guys, we just we draw them, we try to make them look as cool as possible. And to see you guys playing these characters and loving them and drawing them, for me, it's a big part of my day. I love that. I love to see the art. So I would say that is something that I'm very, very proud.
So the thing I'm the most proud of is probably going to be in the upcoming trial environment, because I worked on quite a few ingredients on it. I think it really brings our gameplay to the next level. We're kind of layering complexity on top of our existing gameplay elements. So that's gonna be fun for players, I think.
It's how we keep pushing new things, and I love how when we create a variator, we take what we already have in the game and then we package it in a way where we can have this just play on every map, and we have new ideas every season. Every update, we're trying something new, and we still have other ideas that we haven't explored yet. We have some idea that we've been working on, we're prototyping. So I think that's great. And sometimes we can mix when we did the permafrost, which was a way to bring the outside of the resort to all the maps at the same time. And even when we decided let's try to bring Lilia's mannequin, which are end place and resort, and bring them in all the other map, which we don't want to end place at all because it's too much work. So find inventive way to use places where we know we can have a mannequin without breaking the whole game. So that's a big challenge, and I love how we can keep doing this again and again, and having all these new variator for events going forward.
Genre facilement les comme tout fonctionnait là, pour celle-là, anime, narrative, character.
Yeah, and it's a process, going from prime asset to prime asset, starting with Coil and Gooseberry, and rising from Franco all the way to Lilia. I think we really created something different and unique, and that scared players.
She's a special girl.
She's a special girl.
Franco was the first prime asset that I directed, and the reaction to seeing the rest of the team notice how I brought his personality to life.
Dans la posture de bébé, là, c'est tout lui. Comme le voir donner des indications aux acteurs au mocap, là, c'était incroyable.
Definitely something I came back proud of, and I think it turned out great.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
A big thank you to all of the players who are currently partaking in the trials, and make sure to get your buns and your biscuits back in there.
Thank you for playing and your continued support and feedback. We're listening.
And I just want to thank the community and everyone that's playing our game, because we couldn't really do it without you guys, and it is kind of this give and take relationship where we're really inspired by our fan base. So thanks again.
So thank you guys. I can't wait to see you in the sleep room, and I'm just waiting for the player who will beat me up arm wrestling.
Yeah, and maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll be running after you with a knife in one of those games.
Ben, merci tout le monde. Il y a du stuff vraiment cool qui s'en vient en termes d'objets, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, en termes de props, des nouvelles maps, des belles updates. Donc, accrochez-vous à ça.
Thank you for playing Outlast Trial, and I hope to see you on year 3.
Bye.
The therapy is working. Good.